Hello. Hi, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. So we are starting our session in the next 2 minutes, exactly at 2 minutes. Hi, Noah. I see everybody joining in. Thank you so much for coming. I see you all. Thanks so much for joining in. I'm grateful. We are going to have a very nice and fun session. In 1 minute. Okay, we are going to do a little icebreaker, yeah? So with the icebreaker, if you're new on this platform, I just want to say you're welcome to today's session. You might have missed last time's session. Don't worry, we've got you covered. We've got you covered. So the little icebreaker, if you're just joining in, just put your name and the country you're watching from. Because the last time we got people from Uganda and all of that joining in. So it would just be nice knowing all of you. So just saying hello, 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 putting your name and putting your name down there and the country you're joining in from. So it's 7:00. I'm going to be a bit Whitish. So Ebo White is a playwright and he starts his play 7:00, even if you have just 2 people joining in. But okay, let's give everybody like 2 minutes. 2 minutes, then we start. So if you're joining, hi Jonas from GH, Lord from the UK, hi TA Sarah. You just had to add the TA Sarah for me to laugh, right? Nice meeting you all. Nice Iris, Prince from Italy. Oh, great! So we're having people from all across board. If you're just joining in, welcome to today's information session. Gang. We are just having a little icebreaker here. So just put in your name and where you're watching from. It would be nice to know you guys and have a personal interaction with you. Hi, Royce, baby. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, yeah. I owe you a phone call. I know. So just in 2 minutes, 2:00, we are starting the session. So call everybody. Any page you're on and you think they're going to come around, university students, master students wanting to do PhD and all of that. Tell them that we have started the session and it will be nice to have you guys all on board. So today we are having people from extremity. Last time, if you missed, we got people from the US talking to us about the scholarship, the UK, some people on Commonwealth scholarships and all of that. Get your questions running through and I'll make sure I ask your questions to the respective people. So we are going to have our first caller bringing in. Okay. Some people are lying. I know some people are. So our first caller will be Esther. I've got this nice song playing at the background. I hope it doesn't distress. So let me just pause it. Someone say Ima, are you from Germany? You are in the UK here. Hi, baby.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Fiesta. How are you?
Oh, Auntie Esther makes me sound so old. I'm not old
so
yet.
Old,
so...
isn't it? People you're not old. I'm even
exactly.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you too?
Not bad. If you can speak up a bit, I'll be very happy.
Sorry, I think. Okay. Is this better now? Is this better?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to keep some.
So tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay. So
where you are, the scholarship you're on, the school you're on, what course you're doing.
Okay. So I'm Esther. I'm reading international development studies. I'm in University Clermont-Ferrand in France currently. Yes, and I'm on an Erasmus Mundus joint master's program. Yeah. So that's the scholarship I'm having right now. Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's nice. I would like to know like the various process you had to go through to acquire that particular scholarship. Just highlights that for us.
Okay, so there are like two main processes to get a scholarship, and this is like a full scholarship. It's very intensive, and you may not have time to work, so it takes care of your stipend and living expense. It takes care of your tuition and also an insurance to cover any whilst you're in Europe. And it's a mobility program, so you don't do it in one university. You do it at least in two universities. So I had my first semester in Czech Republic. I'm having my second semester here, and I'm supposed to have the third semester in Italy. But with all the coro going on, let's see what happens. Yeah, so, and the process, there are two main processes. You could either apply through the Erasmus Mundus website, where you can choose up to 3 programs. Or you could go to one of the partner university schools. If you identify the partner universities who are taking part in the course, you could identify them and you could apply through them. And that's the route I took. So for me, I came to the French school where I went to their website, I saw the program, and I applied there. I saw the requirements. So the requirements were 7. And they're basically 5, but if you want the scholarship, you have to add 2 extra things. So I'll mention all 7 so that it's because I'm sure everybody wants the scholarship. Who doesn't anyway?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you first have to submit your a scanned copy of your transcript and certificate, and then a CV. There's no requirement of how the CV should look like. It's just like your usual CV, and then your statement of purpose, why you want to do this course, like what's your motivation, your future plans, stuff like that, whether your background fits into it, stuff like that, and then 2 academic references, emphasis on the academic, not professional, academic ones, and then English proficiency. In my case, I didn't want any stress, so I just wrote IELTS. I didn't want to now go and be chasing them but I have classmates who like got sort of like certification from their school that their programs were done in English. That too is accepted, and they're also in the program. So I assume it's also very, very useful for for applying. And then the two extra things that if you want to get the scholarship, you need to include. It's kind of your passport, your biometric page. They want to know your nationality, which informs whether you're from a developing country or not. And then the second one is proof of address in your home country or wherever you're applying from. And this is very important because if you already say you are doing your bachelor's in Europe, it means that you get less of a scholarship stipend every month. So coming from Ghana, I get the full amount. So I have a French classmate, because she's from writing Europe, she's not getting the full amount because they assume she was exactly. So it's also very important
to add your nationality.
Yes, exactly. And for the proof of residence, in my case, I used for my workplace, because you could use utility and stuff, utility bills, but that usually does not have your name. So it's usually if you stay with your parents like me, it doesn't have your name. Or if you are renting, it has your landlord's name. So it's not really good proof. So I had to get it from my employers, stating that I've been working with them so and so, and this is my registered address, and that was accepted. So those are like the 7 documents you need to apply for the scholarship. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not touching in the but people are of the view. I know your background was in business, right?
Mine was in economics and statistics.
Close. Yeah. So what do you think? People are of the view that business students don't really get much because they're not really doing something directly to impact lives and stuff. And that's why a lot of people like to invest. So was there something different you did, or maybe did you have to do something else to add on to that just to be able to get ahead of people?
Okay, I think that is something I captured under the statement of purpose. So I did economics at my bachelor's, but did ACC along the way. So there was a bit of like not going in sync. And then my course, International Development Studies, is more in the area of economic development. So I had to like explain that I'm more interested in the financial bit of economic development, how to finance development projects in developing countries. I stated that in my statement of purpose, so that they see that my background is actually very useful for the program being applied. So I believe that it's anyone can change fields from bachelor's to masters, or even you can continue in the field, but you have to convince the people that you fit this program and you deserve a funding. Like without it will be much harder to go through this program, and this is a program you really need. So I think it's something you can capture in your statement of purpose. So it's very important that when you're writing your statement of purpose, you capture all these things in it.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's one thing I always tell people. People want to know the direct impact of your project on society. So if you are capturing that, I mean, take it as though I'm giving you money. People don't give money for free.
Definitely.
So they want to realize that the relevance of what their money is going to do for you in your life.
Definitely.
So you need to capture it and convince them. It's a tactic that you need to develop, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Anything you want to add? Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
that's all right.
Okay, so I was going to say that for the Erasmus Mundus joint scholarship, it's such that not every program, the program sort of like, should I say, contest to have their funding from the EU. So, for instance, my program had a contract for 3 years, and last year was like the final year. So it was going to be renewed, but with all the corona situation going on, there's no guarantee of that now. But what I would like to add is that when you check through the catalog of courses that they offer in Erasmus Mundi, you should check the validity. So let's say business analytics. It was introduced in 2018. So it's the validity period rating there's 2018 to 2024. So it kind of helps to inform that maybe this is the last year this program is being, things like that. It gives you a good idea as to whether this program is going to continue. And there are so many programs in sciences, in like computer science, in sustainable environment, in economics. So there's so many choices to make look at. So you should consider all these things before actually applying. Yes.
Okay. Someone is asking whether you can't apply without. So does it mean you can't apply without a biometric passport?
Okay, so it's not necessarily passport. They want to know your nationality. And I think for most of us, the easiest way is if you are coming from a developing country, the easiest way is your passport, because other IDs, they can't really confirm, or they can't really like validate where those are like coming from. That is why I mentioned passports. And in my case, I also use passports. But I believe if you have maybe an international driver's license, I don't know, it should also be equally valid, but they just want to know your nationality. That is why they actually...
Yeah, and I think in the first place, if you really want to study outside, this is the good time to start working on getting your passport. Because in Ghana, I know it's going to take my time. It took a long time, but now they've done the processes very well. It's going to take like a month or two. So you might as well, you will need your passport to study. So just...
Yeah, so I would advise it's a passport, not something else, yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Is there any other thing you want to add, please?
I think that'll be it, but I will leave the link to the website in the comment section, so that to be helpful.
Yes. Yes, that'll be very helpful. And also leave your handle. So if you are here and you just joined, this is Esther. She's doing international development on an Erasmus Mundus scholarship. You can look out for NA Adoma. She's summarizing everything that people are saying. So someone asked if you can summarize the 7 documents. I think she summarized them down there. So look out for her post. She's putting all the necessary things that people are saying on board. You can also slide into the DM of Esther and ask any question if you want to be part of the Erasmus Mundus Scholar. It's very awarding. And I mean, you can get small money for the pockets.
Something little.
Just something little for the pockets. But it's worthwhile because, I mean, it creates your international, like you extend your international connections and meet people, work on very good projects as well, right?
Right. Yeah, it does.
Thank you so much, Esther.
Thank you for having me.
Very grateful. Please drop your handle and any link, the link you wanted them to have to the scholarship.
Definitely, I'll do that. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Esther. So someone is asking if we can talk about what do you call it? Someone asked if you can talk about undergraduate scholarships. I'm sorry, maybe I might have to do another session for people who are undergraduates and having scholarship outside. But mostly this is for masters and PhD. I'm not too much of an expert when it comes to getting an undergraduate scholarship. But I see it's a very interesting question. Please talk about undergraduates in Harvard University for law. I don't have an idea about it. I promise to send it to, if I can link someone up, that would be cool. Esther, can you also answer the questions that are rightly directed to you below? So I'm bringing in the next person. Next person is Priscilla. Priscilla. Nah, they. If you're just joining in, it's an informative session. Priscilla, can you send me a request? It looks like there are quite a number of people here. I'm just a bit confused. Our next person is Prissy. Prissy, are you here? If you're just joining in, please, will it be necessary to write a GRE to study in Australia? So I've not had any Australian participant here, so it will be quite hard to be able to answer that question. But okay, Akosia Dede, ciao ciao. Okay, yeah. I've not had any participant on here for Australia, but I'll find out for you, Wina Dede. Slide into my DM with the same question, and I'll get it that for you. Okay. Okay, Priscilla. I'm sending you a request. Okay. Okay. Hiya.
Hello.
Hey, Abigail. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, and you?
Very great, very great. I've already mentioned your name, so you just tell us a bit about yourself and what school you are in, the scholarship you are on or you were on, and let's take it from there.
Okay. Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm Dede, and then I'm doing, I just completed my master's program in Italy, University of Salerno. I did food engineering. I already did my BSc in food process engineering at Legon, and so I came to continue here. Okay, so to start with, most of my friends asked me, why did I continue with food engineering? And I'm like, well, I got the opportunity and it was in Italy, but then it was in English. So I was like, why not take this opportunity? So it's actually, there are only 2 courses in this university that it's offered in English. And so I was quite privileged to be part of this program. And so that's me. I would call myself privileged to be able to be part of the last people to graduate live in college because coronavirus made graduation. No, graduations are indoors. So yeah, basically that's it. And so, what do I do? What do I talk about again? So briefly, that's something about me.
Yeah. That's something. Yeah. So what scholarship were you on, and how did you get that scholarship?
Okay. So I used 2 scholarships to finish my MSc program. It's actually 2 years. And so first of all, I came with a scholarship called UNISA Grant. It's more linked to Erasmus, just like Esther mentioned. And Erasmus is more like European, more international. You can move inter-universities. And so I searched on the internet for food engineering or food process engineering. And then I found this course in this university offered in English. And their basic requirements, as Esther mentioned, were English proficiency, CV, and all of that. The one thing that I liked about them was they didn't really request for more language like IST. Yes, just English proficiency was enough. And so I applied.
So I'm not cutting you in, but the English proficiency, did you receive it from the University of Ghana?
Yes, I requested for an English proficiency from the language center. When you go there and you request for it. So first you did academic writing, they will give you English proficiency later. I don't remember how much it cost though, but it wasn't so expensive. And so I requested for it and then applied with them. And then I got feedback for a Skype interview. Okay, so like this interview, maybe I'll say it will replace the motivational letter that people will normally use. So in this interview, they try to find out why you want to do this course, your motivation, and certain projects you've done in the field, so that they know how well you can relate in the course or whether you are good for the program. So it was after the interview that they gave the scholarship. So the scholarship covers accommodation and feeding only.
Okay.
Yeah, it covers your accommodation and then your feeding only for all the years that you'll be in the university. And so I was like, okay, cool. But then their fees was really moderate because it depends on the country you are coming from. You know, Ghana is a developing country, and so they don't pay so much fees. In fact, their fees had some clause on it that if you're able to finish all your exams in time, you get all your fees back. So what's the risk?
Okay.
Yeah, so yep. So we came, I think my friend and I, we are the only Ghanaians here actually. Yeah. In fact, we're the first to be here, so ciao. Yeah, so yeah, we did this program. After the first year, we applied for another scholarship, but then that was based on your academic performance, how well you do, and then the number of credits you are able to complete within the semester. If you meet the requirement, you're good to go with that scholarship.
Okay. And what was the name? Was there a name for it?
It's called Adisu Grant, but I think when you come here is when you get to know about it because it's more regional based. And you know, the language barrier is always a problem because it's just two courses that is in English. Everything around you is in Italian. So sometimes you're like, oh my God, I don't understand what is happening. So it was gradually that we met people who understood things and they could explain things better to us that, oh, you can apply for the scholarship, you can do this, you can do that. And then that scholarship too was better, way better than the one that we got at first because the scholarship covers accommodation, feeding, and they're going to give you money alongside everything that you're going to do. So at least you can still work, get your money, you can still get scholarship money, and you can still study and make it, you know, so
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. I've never heard of that scholarship. So if you're just joining it, she's on the UNISA grant. Nana Duma will be updating that. You can also check on that. And always you can slide in her DM to ask her any questions concerning that scholarship. Someone asked if it covers microbiology. I think the questions were...
Yeah, microbiology. I once met one girl from Nigeria who said she was doing microbiology, but her headache was in Italian. So I looked at her and I was like, how are you going to survive? Like, in Italian, how are you going to study?
Yeah, so with that, do you do 1 year language proficiency? You do 1 year Italian before you have to go and do the study, right?
Even for me, I still studied Italian for a semester because I have to be able to move around. I have to be able to speak to people. I have to understand them when they talk to me. Because my course mates some were Italians, but their English was not so good. And so, like, you can imagine sometimes how you communicate with them. They may understand you partially, so we had to learn their language to be able to speak with them. They do microbiology, but the ones I know officially that is in English is business informatics and then food engineering. These are the two courses that is in English that I know of. I don't know if they've changed things. Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's just an information session to also know what scholarships are available and you need to explore also for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much. Please, can you slide your DM on the comment section when you're going, so anybody can, slide into a DM and ask her any question or any help to get what they want and stuff like that.
Sure, I will.
Thank you so much, Esther, for coming.
Dede.
Can you imagine? Esther, leave my night.
You're welcome.
Dede, thank you so much.
Thank you
Dede.
too for this opportunity.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
What's it called?
I think the comment is not helping me be able to take you out. So if you could just take it out. I think, okay, Apia, you asked that is anything in store for medical students in Ghana? So up here we are going to have a medical student on board, so do stay tuned. He's going to talk about that. How difficult is it to get a scholarship to study in the UK? We are getting UK guys here as well to talk about it, so please do stay tuned. Yeah, I hope I've answered quite a number. Please slide your questions in, and don't be shy to slide into the people's DM to ask them any question you want to ask them. Okay, so our next person is Eric. So I'm bringing Eric on board. Eric, I've seen you, but if I type add, okay, so we're bringing Eric on board. It will be very helpful. Enrico! Enrico!
How are you doing?
Give us some Italian accent.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao a tutti. How are you doing?
I think the previous one that spoke, Priscilla, I think she's also from Italy, so maybe she's already put in all the Italian. So
yeah, I can see. I know her from way back from university. I can see that the Italian has affected her accent a bit, but we'll take it like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome and thank you for coming.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself, the school you are at, the scholarships you've ever won? Because I know you've got quite a number.
Very little.
And the course you're doing.
I apply to scholar. I apply to everything,
Yeah, I know anything and everything.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
guys, I am Eric Owusu-Obeng, and at the moment, I'm a final year PhD student at the University of Bologna. And before PhD, I actually did a master's in UK, the school that Lloyd's.
Hello. Oh, I think. Can you hear us? Hi, Eric. I think I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Oops. Can you guys hear me though? Can you hear me? Please, okay. I lost you, Eric. Yeah, I lost you.
Can you see me now?
But guys, can you hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, but you can't hear Eric. Eric, you would have to start because we didn't hear anything.
Okay. It's okay. So I can start first. I am Eric, and at the moment I'm studying for a PhD in the University of Bologna in Italy. I'm studying the course is biomedical science, but then majorly PhD is more research, so I actually don't care about the name of the course. So I'm working on some cellular signaling pathways in glioblastoma patients. So I employ molecular biology techniques to study all of those. But then let's put that aside. The main purpose we're here is just for the scholarship. So like I said before, I did a master's in the UK in Aston University, where Lois also went to, and I was there on a different scholarship. But then for the purpose of this, I would base majorly on the PhD scholarships for master students that want to do a PhD. So in Italy, there's actually a governmental thing where all the universities and then all the courses in universities, they're actually funded by the government. So for instance, my program I started in 2017, and that year they were having like 16 slots which were funded. So if you want to apply to the program, you have to be part of the 15 because they rank based on merit, based on research proposal, based on your publication, based on some extracurricular activities that you've already done before. So they use all of that, then they do a ranking, and then if you're part of the first 16, you're actually given that scholarship. And then people that are, beyond or after the 16, they actually don't get funded place. So unless you have like your own money to be able to pay for the PhD, where majority of times a lot of people don't actually, accept that offer. So lucky enough, I was one of the people that was accepted. So I'll go on to how to apply for this scholarship. If you really
but before that, I want to see the transition from Ghana to Aston. So someone wants to know how you secured it into the UK, because then coming into the UK helps to get into the other one.
Yeah. So I would say with the master scholarship, I was really lucky because I think majority of times a lot of people say you have to get a first class to get a scholarship, but I wasn't lucky to get a first class. maybe in the final year I was actually joking around a lot, so I couldn't get a first class. But then I was very close to a first class though. So I would say if you really want a scholarship, especially to study in the UK, you have to be really competitive because a lot of people from everywhere they are applying, so it's very competitive to get in. But then so what I did was I applied to the Alan and Nesta Ferguson Scholarship. It's actually a tuition-based scholarship. It's not a full scholarship where it gives you stipend. So I was actually also lucky because my family lived in Birmingham, so I could stay with them and then not pay rent, etc. So the university actually allows you to apply for the Alan and Neston Ferguson Scholarship, which is only for people that study life sciences courses. So if you want to do biomedical science, if you want to do stem cells, if you want to do microbiology, etc., that's the kind of scholarship that you'll be in for. And then average, every year they actually give it to about 10 people. So you also have to apply based on merit, of course, and you also have to write a statement of purpose, which really needs to stand out. And then they also have to do another interview for it. So if you're lucky enough, then you get that scholarship. So that actually brought me to UK.
Yeah.
And then
now let's go to the PhD one.
Exactly. With the PhD, like I said, every scholarship you have to actually really stand out, especially if you're from a developing country, because majority of scholarship in Europe is actually for Europeans. Very few are for international students. So you really have to stand out to compete, with for everyone from all the world. So you have, like I said, for masters, actually, I would say maybe I was lucky because I had a distinction and that helped me to get a PhD, and then I was able to get one publication out of my masters to also get a PhD. Because in the University of Bologna, what they look at is first you have to be able to write a well-written and coherent research proposal, and then two, you have to be able to write like a very good motivational statement that would also set you apart. And then you have a good CV. You should also be able to meet the English language requirement because even though I'm living in Italy or studying in Italy, I do study in English. So you have to meet the English language requirements. So if you're from Ghana, normally what they did was you have to let your school. I told them I had already studied my entire life in English, and then also in the UK I studied English. So it was quite easy for me to convince them. But if you don't have what I had, maybe you could just get an English language proficiency certificate from a university. Like people from Kenya, so you're able to get that, and then you could easily use to apply. And then also publications. So if you're a master's student and you're looking for to do a PhD, a publication, make one publication, will probably be a life changer, because majority of the time they actually don't give so much, they don't actually give so much pressure to a master's student that want to do a PhD in terms of publication. But if you have it, it really it sets you apart from other people. And also the University of Bologna for PhD, they actually also very particular on mobility. So if you, from my transition from Ghana to UK and then now to Italy, so at least I have a bit of mobility experience. So being able to study in different countries, they actually also put some weight on that. So if you're able to do that, then, there's a high chance, you move up the ranking. And also interview. So I was called on Skype for an interview, and you'd probably have to answer a lot of questions. You have to do first a presentation of the research proposal, and then also for your master thesis, you have to do that. And then, in a group of about 15 professors, they'll ask you questions upon questions, and then you have to be able to answer all of that. So it was tough, but
I'm not cutting, but I remember one of the professors says you can lie with confidence, like you don't know the thing, but you say it with confidence. Why?
Confidence. I'll tell you, confidence is the key. There's sometimes when one of my interviews, I just say random stuff. I'm like, when I'm done, I'm like, what did I say? And then I realized that actually they believe me, So you have to lie with confidence.
Confidence is very important. Yeah.
So I think that's basically
that's about
exactly.
I think you've said a lot of things. Some people have some questions. Someone was like, could you please talk about how you met the English requirement?
So with the English language, I think my time is up. With the English language requirements, with the English language requirements, if you're from Ghana, some schools, not all schools, some schools would actually accept that, because your official language is in English, they would accept that you actually produce an evidence from university that you've studied your entire university years in English. They accept that. But if you really don't want all of that struggle, you can write an IELTS, and then you could be okay. But I didn't write it because I chose not to write it. So
Yeah. Someone also asked that, could you please ask Eric, what are some of the things you need to stand out?
So things that make you stand out, first, you have to be really competitive. So when I say competitive, you have to get like good grades. I didn't get a first class, but I would say you have to be maybe close to it. Well, there are also different kind of scholarships too. Different kinds of scholarship. There are merit-based scholarships, and then there are like situational-based scholarships. It could be like scholarship that funds people that are really in need, hardship scholarships. So with that, you don't have to show merit, but majority of the time for international students, they're actually merit-based scholarships. So you really have to do well with your grades. You have to be able to write a very good motivational or personal statement. You have to get good references from your lecturers, etc. So I think those are the things that would make you stand out. I think so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
One thing for people that want scholarship, you have to be very committed to the course because it takes time. You have to. Some people will just ask questions. I've seen some questions. You can actually just simple Google and you find those answers, but people will keep on asking. So if you really need a scholarship, if you really think you want a scholarship, you have to be very dedicated to go for it. And then there'll be a lot of rejections, but don't let it, don't
get into your head.
Exactly, don't let it get into your head.
I remember one scholarship I had like this. I had to apply to about 30 scholarships, and I spent all night. So it takes a lot of like patience.
I think people should tell that story. Well, the number of scholarships that I applied to, the number of professors I emailed, the number of people that didn't get back to me, all of those rejections. So when I got
how I got my PhD was because a certain supervisor saw my name so many times, and he just wrote it on the paper that this girl has emailed me about 80 times.
Yeah.
And another lecturer walked in and said that this girl has emailed me about 80 times. Then we are going to look for this girl. You get it? So it's like...
Exactly.
Be on them. It's a radical decision.
Exactly. But then some people don't know that story. When they see you having a scholarship, they think that's it. Behind the background, there's a lot of rejections. And then I've come to learn that even professors, like well-distinguished professors, when they apply for funds, they get rejected. So even professors that get rejected, how much more me? So
how much more you? Exactly. Thank you so much, Eric, for coming. Please do write under there your DM so that anyone who has any question can ask you. Please do attend to them if they ask you as well.
I'm happy to
very, very grateful for coming.
Thank you.
We'll have another session. On proposal writing. If you offer to give us a lecture on that.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Ciao. Hi guys, so we watched Eric is saying 100% true. Honestly, behind the scenes is a lot of work. So if you really, really want this, if you really, really want to have this, sometimes I attend to people who really, really back me a lot because then I know there's more, like there's a drive. When I ask you to go and write proposal and bring it, we can do. So if you're just joining me, we are going to be doing a workshop on how to write proposals, groundbreaking proposals, how to tweak your academic CV. Just know your professional CV is different from your academic CV. They need some things to look out for. So we are going to be doing that. We are going to be giving you tips on how to write your research statement and how to even prepare for an academic interview. That will be in the next session. So I'm bringing Derek on board. Derek has helped a lot of people to get scholarships, and I appreciate him for wanting to be on this session. Thank you so much.
Hey. Yes, madam.
I salute.
Yes, madam. I'm coming to London after Corona. I saw that the Presby Church brought you some food. So I'm coming to enjoy.
Can you see the rice in my picture? The rice is right behind there.
Good for you. Good for me.
Thank you so much for wanting to come to this session.
Thank you for inviting me.
I know I'm very troublesome.
No. It's good. I think I had the opportunity of having people around me who were going to support me all along the way. Some actually paid for me to write a GRE, pay for application fees. And so I think it's a baton that has been passed on to me. And I also have to pass it on. So we help others to do the same, when we can. And if you have the opportunity to share information, I have a lot to say. Probably you have a lot more time to do that. So
I'm grateful. Let me start taking your time for you.
Okay, sure.
So tell us about yourself, the course you're reading, and how how you got the scholarship.
Great.
Yeah.
So
if you can give us a transition from how you moved from Ghana to where you are now.
Sure. So my path is quite a long one, quite a long and should I say crooked, but not a straight one, So I studied economics in my first degree and a master's in economics in Ghana, and worked for a while at the economics department and at ISE in Legon. Then did a postdoctoral fellowship in Denmark.
Really?
Yeah, did a postdoctoral fellowship in Denmark because I was transitioning from being economics into public health economics. So I spent some time to do postdoctoral fellowship in Denmark. And then along the way, I applied to, at the last count, about 60, 70 positions. And I still receive letters, invitation to interviews, rejection letters, even to date, for positions I applied 2 years ago. And so it's quite, like Eric said, it's quite a hard and rugged journey. You need to bagel up your soul and your spirit to go through it. You get rejection along the way, but it's not the end of the road. I had to drop out from one PhD to start again, and so
that's what I wanted to ask.
It's quite tough, but you have to, and I think I made a better decision moving to Sweden. I think if you an old person like me and you want to study, Sweden is perhaps the Sweden or the Nordics are the best place to study. And unlike in most countries where, especially the UK, where PhDs are scholarships, and so you don't get a leave, you don't get a vacation, you don't get a pension, you don't get a child support allowance. In Sweden and in Denmark and in most other Nordic countries, PhDs are employment. So I'm actually employed by the university as a PhD student. So I don't get a scholarship, I earn a salary. That comes with a pension, with a vacation, with parental leave. So I'm entitled to about 9 months parental leave if I have a child. And because I'm employed, if I have a spouse, she can join me and I have access to free education. So it's much easier if you are in the Nordics. If you're old like me and want to continue to be in school, Sweden is a good place to be. Sweden, Denmark, Norway are good places to be. Maybe I can share my experiences from both countries. It's quite So maybe you can ask me the questions. I'm not so
So what exactly did you have to put in place to get the first PhD, and why did you leave that one and come into this one? Like, what were the processes?
Okay, so in Denmark, let me start because I'll do the first PhD. I started first PhD in Denmark. In Denmark, there are two, and across the Nordic countries. So Nordic countries, I mean Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Iceland. And my current project is actually working on these 5 countries. So I work on Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. And I'm studying for a PhD in health economics. But my project is on assessing the economic consequences of early onset disabilities. So I study the economics of disabilities. And in Denmark, there are 2 ways to find a PhD. Either through internal funds, internal fellowships. So the department or the faculties will give you the position that comes with a salary, with office space, with all the allowances of employment, or you get an external fund.
Okay.
And there can be a collaboration between an external fund and an internal fund.
Yeah.
And to apply, the applications differ across schools. In some schools, you need to have a supervisor in the university who is sponsoring your application.
Okay.
So you just cannot.
So the first thing is to look for a supervisor
within the university
who is interested in.
Yes.
Within the university.
So the universities, the department usually put up advertisements that we have positions. You put in an application which includes a motivation letter, a letter of competence, a list of publications, and a proposal, and a list of proposed supervisors. And at least one of those supervisors should be a faculty within the department.
Okay.
And that supervisor should offer a letter to sponsor your application.
I get it.
And so that's the reason I did a postdoctoral fellowship. So I worked with a professor in Denmark, in Aarhus University, for a period, and she sponsored my application. That, okay, I know him, he's worked with me, he has, he can do this job, I think the project is worth it, and so unfortunately for me, I didn't get a full fellowship. I got what they call a research training supplement, which means the university gives you some money to take care of salaries and other things, but that means you don't get a full funding. So we had to look for an external funds, and I started based on the initial funds we had, but the external funds were delaying for about 18 months. We're not hearing from them. So I made a decision that I had to move on. I couldn't be waiting, because then I have to put a pause to the external funds are in. So I decided to apply to other positions elsewhere, and I applied to Sweden, into Lund University, where I am currently. And by sheer coincidence or luck, my supervisor in Sweden, in Denmark, had worked closely with the team
one in
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah, and they knew that I was her student. They knew that Derek works with this lady. So when they saw my application, they first called her. Okay, we've seen your student. He's applied to a position here. Said, yes, we have a situation at hand, and I think he must move on. Yeah. And so if you are willing to offer him, I'll give him a personal recommendation. And it's key. The recommendation is key.
It's key. It's very necessary.
If you don't have someone who would personally recommend you in the Nordic countries, forget it.
Yeah.
And so she called. We are about 161 applicants for one position.
50. There was this thing on TV. 22 people chasing one. Wow.
Yeah.
I remember.
We are 161 applicants for one position from different places. So they solicited for an interview, and we were supposed to have an interview for 30 minutes. We ended up speaking for almost 2 hours, because at that moment I knew that I was getting the position. After the 2 hours, I knew I was getting the position, because
confidence is key as well.
Yes.
Life with confidence.
But then what was interesting was that they were more interested in a variety of things. You're interested in your technical knowledge, because this is a job. And so you are not writing a proposal. You are not writing a proposal. So what happens is that the unit applies for the funds. They design a project that, okay, we want to study this particular thing. They apply for the funds. The university gives them the fund. Then the unit is to advertise the position like a job, inviting applications from all over the world. Then, based on the applications, they will select the best candidates for the job. So this is not like your regular PhD where you must write a proposal. No. So you need to understand the project that has been advertised.
Yeah.
You need
what your skills could contribute.
Yes. What skills are you bringing on board to make the project a success? It's about you selling yourself to the project. And you need to also, in your mind, understand the various methodologies or the possible methodologies. They don't need to be fine. They don't need to be perfect. But at least you need to know how to go through the process of achieving the objectives of the project. And so, unlike the regular PhDs, like the one I did in Denmark, where you must put in a proposal and put in, there you are advertising proposals. But here you are advertising your skill sets. What skills you are coming with to contribute to the project. And because it's a 4-year contract with some good money, not a lot, some good money.
Good money.
Yeah. some good money. I don't lie about that. Yeah, some good money and other benefits as well if you happen to need them. And it's but so you need to advertise yourself. You need to come show that you have the skills to achieve the project's objectives. And you should be prepared for an interview. You go through an interview. It's almost always rigorous. You would have to know your stuff basically, and then you would need Yep. So I submitted an application. The application included my CV, a writing sample. That is very important. So 2 things. Your personal statement, if you're applying for a master's, is your first writing sample. You're evaluating it to see how you can think, how you can evaluate solutions, how you can present ideas. So how to write is very, very important. How to put together a convincing personal statement. For me, because I had previous experience working in research, they were also interested in my research outputs. So they asked me to submit a list of some published papers and some papers in progress, because it's a job, so you must have a skill set. Fortunate, I had worked with quite a good number of people in Ghana. I had a large pool of mentors who were always pushing me. So I had, at the time of applying, we had about 11 or 10 papers at the time. So I could select the best 3 and submit them. Because we were 161. And so you need to be good. And
have all your facts right.
Yes. And what worked for me was that I had very good publications after my master's, and so it puts me way up that way. So
I'm not cutting Derek, but some people have asked some questions. Someone was like, study public. What do you think is the best place to study public health? Someone was like, do they offer a master's scholarship for IT or graphic designers?
Yes. So yes. So I have colleagues who are studying public health. In fact, this year we assisted I personally assisted about 7 people to apply. 2 are in public health, some are in other courses, to apply to Sweden. So Sweden every university has a merit-based scholarship. That is very competitive, and that's based solely on your academics. And they have also what they call the Swedish Institute Scholarship for professionals, which is supposed to give professionals a training to make an impact in their societies. So there are these 2 scholarships. The merit-based scholarship usually covers your fees, which means that you have to work to get an extra income to take care of yourself. But if you have the Swedish scholarship, you can always look out for it. Swedish Institute scholarships. If you have a Swedish Institute scholarship, it gives you a stipend about 10,000 krona a month, and it pays your fees, so you have some good money to make some good living. And so there are a lot of courses. I think you can just always search out.
Someone said, what about medicine and engineering as well?
Yeah, so you can do medicine engineering, a master's in medicine engineering. If you can have a collaboration where you can take, at least if you're a medical school in Ghana, you can come and take a year exchange here. You're almost willing to accept you. They have that exchange, so you can send an email to a professor and get someone to get in touch.
Derek is loaded. Derek is loaded with a lot of information because he's helped a lot of people in this journey of application. So what we are going to do is that we are going to have a different session that's going to be like at the end of the month, where he's going to help us with proposal writing, SOP, statements of purposes, and he's got links. Like sometimes he sends links to some pages I'm on just to say this is up for that. But we have limited time on here where we have to allow everybody to come.
And so you need to always be on the lookout. If you want to stay for a PhD in Denmark, Sweden, and these Nordic countries, well, we tend to put out, like Lois was saying, we tend to put out a lot of these applications when they come, because they usually advertise it within the departments first, so that if you have a master's student or you have a student you think is qualified, you can support that candidate to apply. So we get that, we share them and try to see people, assist people to also put in applications. So I'll leave them here so that others can come on. Yes, a scholarship in microbiology, CT Junior. Yes, CT Junior. I'll share some of them that come away with. I get so confused with lots of them, so I'll share those that come away with Lois. I think you should create a platform where you can share some of these scholarships. I can share lots of them with you: microbiology, in molecular biology, in medical biology, I think Sweden is you have quite a good, but then the thing is that you would have to apply. Oh God, my time is up. Good.
No, one thing is that, see, you can slide into the DM of Derek now and ask any question you want to ask. So I don't want to put Derek, if you can put your DM in the comment section. I'm seeing, Atta said I should give your time to him. And you should take his time, but I'll still bring you back if there is time and everybody has finished talking. But please slide into his DM, Derek's DM.
So
and
yes. I have
end of
friends.
the month, watch out for it.
I have a friend who's studying accounting and finance here in Lund, but he came on the Swedish scholarship for global professionals. That one is based 100% on your professional experience. You must have worked at least 3,000 hours, and you must have solid references from your employment.
Yeah.
So yes, there's finance and accounting.
There's a lot of questions, for you.
Yes.
But Instagram goes off after an hour.
Yeah, so just send me a friend request. I would accept it, and then I would either on Facebook or my name is just Eric Esuma on every social media handle. So you can just anyone you see can just send me a friend request. I would.
Okay, we still have like 6 minutes for Instagram to go off and I'll reconnect. So everybody can join.
Agribusiness and agri-economics also in Sweden that you can also apply. In Uppsala, in the Swedish Institute for Agricultural Sciences, which has a large community of Ghanaians who are always willing to support, you can always apply to that, and we can do that. Yeah, there's also a lot more of them. Okay, so I'll leave you.
You can see the questions, right?
Yes, I can see the questions. So I'll try to answer as many that come my way and see what can be done.
Yeah.
Right? So watch out for there's a master's in cybersecurity. I have a colleague just completed, and he got a good job that pays almost 40,000 krona. Quite a good money. That's like 4,000 euros a month.
Lopez will be joining us soon, but I also say agribusiness, check University of Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan in Canada. Yeah. But the thing is that in Canada, you may need GRE. In Sweden, you don't.
Okay. you sold Sweden to us. You're finished.
You just need a good grade. If you are studying if you want to apply for a master's. If you're applying for a PhD, write a very good thesis at your master's level. You'll ask for it. Yes, there's media and communications. One of my ladies applied last year. There's health informatics. You can come again, you can apply again. PhD in linguistics. Yes. So I think Lois should have a platform.
Sweden all the way.
Yeah, I can see
they
that.
They should make you Sweden ambassador to Ghana.
So I will share a lot of these positions that come my way with Lois, especially in the PhDs.
Yeah.
The masters, their applications are closed. They are open from October 15th to January 15th. And so maybe around that time, around the full admission process, we should have another call to update people on what they should do, at least for Sweden. Yeah. I can take them to what they need to do. Then we can
maybe Derek, our end our session at the end of the month, we might create a WhatsApp platform with everybody and get their information and maybe share it on there. So do join our final session.
Last thing, when you're applying for a master's in Sweden, you should make sure that your course falls within the Agenda 2030, the Sustainable Development Goals.
The Sustainable Development Goals,
yes. That is what is driving everything in Sweden now. So geophysics, yes, how does it relate to the Sustainable Development Goals? You should answer that question when you're applying for a scholarship.
That's one of my key things, actually. I use that. My sustainable development goal is 3, 6, and 18. I think 18 is partnership for goals. 3 and is clean water for all, and 6 is, I think, health and something. So I'm really of a very big target.
For me, I think my work cuts across all the SGDs because I don't remember any of them.
Any of them?
I don't remember any of them. 17 is too much to remember. I'm old now. I'm turning 31 in July. I'm old now.
Yeah.
I'm old now.
Papa and get there. Okay, guys. The network is going down. Yeah. We are joining in real quick to bring the UK-based scholarship.
That's
the
great.
Guy Jonas from Oxford, then Kweku from the Open University will join. Derek, thank you so much for having you. We'll have you at the end of the month.
scholarship links before our next session, which is the last Saturday of the month. We are going to have a workshop on how to write proposals, SOPs, statements of purposes, academic CVs, and all of that. We'll be having that session with Derek, and we'll by that time also create a platform where we can be sharing such links to them. If we create the WhatsApp group today. Okay. Our next person we are bringing on board is Jonas. Okay, I'm bringing Jonas on board. I see all of you trying to join in. Don't be hyper on me. Hi, Jonas.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I really miss you. I really miss you.
I've missed you too. You are dying at Oxford and you don't have good pound to eat. When I'm eating pound,
Oh, Charlie.
That's all right. Derek, let's go straight to the session. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, the school you are in, the course you're doing, and the scholarship you are on, and which country, I guess?
Oh, okay. I'm a Ghanaian. My name is Jonas Dasu, and I'm a Ghanaian, and I'm currently studying at the University of Oxford. And I'm currently being funded by, I'm being funded by Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, but I'm having some kind of partnership from Lunake College. That's the college that I belong to. I also funded some portion of my scholarship. So let's say something like a dual scholarship. Yeah.
Okay. What course are you doing?
Okay, I'm studying water science, policy and management. So MSc in water science, policy and management.
Okay, so how did you get that scholarship?
It was really a long journey. Because let me say, okay, I considered every school. I did a lot of applications, and by God's grace, I selected the one that I think would fit my career path. So for the processes, before you apply to schools or before you make any form of arrangement to apply to schools, the first thing that you have to do is look at the school's requirements. So the schools you want to go to, the first thing you have to do is to check out for the requirements. What do they want you to apply with? So they would ask you for CV. Those are the basic stuff. So CV. Some might ask you for GRE score. Some might also ask you for an IELTS. Some might also ask you for different form of requirements are available. And it depends on the school, and it also depends on the country that you're going to. So I applied to the US. I also applied for the Erasmus scholarship, and I also applied to the UK. So applying to the US, for US schools, definitely is GRE. That's the first thing that they'll ask for, GRE. Yeah, so I registered with Perfect Score Institute. That's in Ghana, on Legon campus. So I took my GRE there. They taught me, I prepped with them. So they taught me how to write the GRE. So I learned everything. From then I wrote the GRE, and I applied to the US schools. And for the UK, to look at the requirements that they wanted, GRE was not an option. I'm sorry, GRE is an option. So if you like, you can add it to it. If you like, don't add it to it. But it's not a main requirement. So I also applied to the UK schools. I applied to Cambridge. I applied to Oxford. Yeah. And then for the US schools, I applied to University of Chicago. And several universities. I can't remember the rest. So it depends on the requirement that each school needs. So if a school needs a particular requirement, you have to make sure you provide that requirement for them. Yeah. So for UK, so basically for Oxford, because I had my GRE score, which is not really needed, so I just added it to it. I also wrote IELTS, which wasn't needed because Oxford told me that so far as I studied in Ghana and I studied in an English-speaking country, I can just submit a proficiency letter. But I just added my IELTS score to it just to augment my chances of getting into the school. I have to make sure I write an excellent SOP, make sure I tailor the SOP towards the program and towards my future goals. And so basically that was basically for the school. Okay. Yeah. And within the school they have various scholarships. So you can either get a scholarship coming from the school that's internally, or you get an external scholarship. Okay, and then for UK, we have we have several external scholarships. Okay, but the one I was eligible to was a Commonwealth scholarship. Okay, and with the Commonwealth scholarship, we also have two different Commonwealth scholarships. That's for master's program. We have the Commonwealth Masters Scholarship, and then we have the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. Okay. So for the Commonwealth Masters Scholarship, the country will be my should I say my nomination agency. So they have to nominate me for the scholarship, and then for the shared, the school, the university must nominate me for the scholarship.
Okay.
So what happened was that I preferred applying for the shared because I wanted the school to nominate me for the scholarship. So I applied for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and so I basically wrote my thesis, and then I submitted my CV, and then any kind of what do you have to show to, or any kind of let me see, what makes you outstanding or different from other applicants. So which I had several publications, about 3 publications, which I published with my professors, my Dr. Ifavi and Dr. Youngson. So I had basically
just in case you know, he was my student.
Yeah,
Someone is asking whether University of Oxford provides undergraduate scholarships. Have you seen any Ghanaian undergraduates?
Yeah. Interesting. You know, I had a dinner with my academic advisor, and then when I was talking to him, he told me that, okay, Jonas, you know, I was the one who selected you for the scholarship, and I was like, wow. And I was like, oh, okay. So we're talking, and then I asked him that, do they have actually international scholarships for Africans? And he said, yeah, they have a lot of them. They have international scholarship for Africans. So yeah, for undergraduates, I don't know much about it, but when I asked him, he told me yes.
Yes, if you can find out for the person, whoever asked that question, slide into his DM and let him do that finding out for you so that you can get it. Someone's asked if you feel the GRE gave you an added advantage.
Oh, yes. The GRE gives you an added advantage. And that depends. Okay, that depends. Because if you are looking at schools like, let's say the US schools, okay, let's take, for example, Harvard University. In terms of environmental engineering, they tell you that a GRE is optional. Okay, in MIT, computer science engineering, they tell you GRE is optional. So if you like, submit it. If you like, don't submit it. But remember, if you're not submitting a GRE score, your application must really be good. And in terms of what makes you outstanding, if you apply for a master's, you know, a master's is research-based. They're preparing for a PhD, so research-based, or PhD is a research-based program. So what makes you outstanding, apart from your schooling, what makes you outstanding? And you know that for PhDs, it's basically about publications. So if you're having a lot of publications, then that means that you can forgo the GRE and then apply for the course, which will be picked if they go through your credentials and they see that, okay, yeah, this guy has done this project, therefore I can add him to my research group. Fine. Yeah. And then for places where they require GRE, you know, GRE place, okay, for example, Lois went to University of Ghana, okay, she graduated with a GPA of, let's say, a 3.6 with a first class, and then I came from University, let's say, Harvard University, and I graduated with, let's say, a GPA of, let's say, about 2.3. And let's say somebody is also coming from a different universities with different GPA systems. So now, how can I assess? Yeah, how can I assess you guys? Because you guys are different. You guys have been taught differently. You guys have different skill sets, which I don't know you from anywhere. So how can I place you guys on the same skill? GRE does that.
Yeah. Someone is asking if you can share clarity on the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. What do you mean by a school nominates you, and how do you go about that?
Okay, so a school nominating you. Okay, so for example, let's say I am in University of Oxford. Let's say I'm the admissions. Okay, let's say I'm in charge over here. Okay, and then let's say Lois is applying. Lois wants the Shared Scholarship. So that means that a lot of candidates are going to apply for the Shared Scholarship. And the University of Oxford says down, look at the candidates, and they will say, okay, based on merit or based on maybe the credentials that Lois is having, I think I prefer Commonwealth. Please fund Lois for me. I want you to fund this particular person for me. But for the masters, for the Commonwealth masters, the country would have to also select individuals to be funded.
Okay.
So that's the difference.
Quick question. Someone is asking when the application opens in the UK, like I think the Commonwealth Share Scholarship. When do you think it opens? Yeah.
Okay, for the Commonwealth Share Scholarship, during my time, I think it opened in December, but this year I realized it opened early. So you always have to watch out. And so one advice I would give to you is that when you really want, if you know you want to go to school next year, you have to start doing your research right from now. Okay, which universities do you want to go to? What's going to be there? When will applications open? When is the deadline going to be? Which kind of scholarships should I be looking out for so that you could prepare yourself down before the time comes?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Do you want to add any other thing?
I don't know. All that I have to say is that if you really want to go to school or if you're looking for it in doing your master's or your PhD, you should start preparing right now. Because if you start your preparation right now, you get to know what kind of requirements you need to meet. If you have to write the GRE exams, then definitely you have to start preparing. You have to start prepping. Not you wait till last minute, let's say in October before you start prepping. You start prepping for the GRE in October. You might lose some kind of confidence in yourself. So you have to start preparing early, know the kind of requirements you have to get before I think applications always start in September, if I'm right. So start preparing yourself from now to September. So if you want to take GRE, I know of Perfect Score Institute. That's where I took my GRE test at. That's where I prepped at, and that's where I also taught for them too. So I think I can recommend Perfect Score. To you guys.
Put their name in the comment section, and also add your handle. Anyone that wants to contact you in terms of that aspect can also contact you. Yeah, Jonas. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. This is Jonas.
Oh, don't mention it. I have to come and visit you. I have to come and visit you. If the contact I have to come and visit you. Oh, of course.
You don't have any problem.
Okay, then
thank you for coming. Bye.
Thank you too. Bye.
I'm bringing the next person, bringing Kweku on. Someone asked if you didn't need the IELTS to apply for the visa. So, I mean, the IELTS is like International English Language Testing Systems, and those are needed for application of your scholarships. Before you apply for a visa, you need to have a scholarship at hand, if you get what I mean. So they need to know that, you're going to this country and this is what you're going to do. So if you have a school send you a letter to show that you have gained admission into the school before. So what you need to gain admission to the school is what we are talking about. Okay, and an IELTS is very important for that. Okay, so I'm bringing Kweku in as well. He's also studying in the UK. He wanted me to give his time to Derek. Kweku! So slide into his DM and ask him any question. They're always there to help. We all had people to help us, and I felt like this was a good platform to also share with you how we also got on board and all that. Kweku!
Adamavi,
You're looking like Noah.
Hey, Moses.
Lockdown is not good though. Long time.
Charlie, maybe you dug me because of lockdown. Even before lockdown, then you dug me.
See you. Kweku, you're welcome to scholarship platform. Bang. So can you tell us a bit about yourself, the course you're studying, the scholarship you're on, and how you did to get inside the scholarship?
Okay, so I'm at the Open University in the UK with you. My scholarship is more of an internal university scholarship. It's full scholarship. They call it PhD studentship. So I think yours is a bit different because you're on UKRI, right?
Yeah, UKRI.
Exactly, and I think
I'll talk about my scholarship at the end. So still stay tuned.
Yeah, I will. I'll stay. And I think IO is on the doctoral training program, which are all external to the school, but mine is internal to the school. So it's with the Open University Business School itself. So it covers everything. So your tuition, and then you have stipend. You have stipend as well. It's a PhD studentship. Just a little counter on what Derek said about Sweden people getting a lot of benefits. I know we don't get as much as they do, but at least we also get some leave as well. So we have 8-week leave, which I take and use to go to Ghana as well. We have office spaces that we work in as part of normal stuff. So it's not as bad as
Sweden.
try to make it look.
Yeah. So if you can tell us how you got into the UK and how you got the scholarship. I mean, the transition from Ghana into the UK. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when I said it's internal, this is how it works. So various departments and various centers within the university. So let's say within the Open University Business School, apply for scholarships. For funds, research funds, just like any other school. I just came on, so don't worry. That was his time, not my time.
That was his time, yeah.
So when they get funds, they need to do the research that would go with their application process that gave them the funds. So what they have to do would be to find these PhD students to come and conduct research within a specific area, which is what got them the funds. So basically what they would do would be to advertise specific research topic areas that are of interest to them. So typically for OU Business School, if I remember correctly, I think between January, February, is when they open up for applications. So they will actually advertise, I think in the last 3 years or so, on average, they would advertise, I think, close to around 15 positions. So close to around 15 positions. And they will all come with their specific general theme. And then it comes with the supervisors as well. So it has to be someone, an academic within the university, who comes up with the topic, the general idea about the topic, and it will also come normally with the supervision team. So mine has 3 supervisors. Their names were all on the adverts that I actually applied for. So all you have to do is to look through it. If you find something that is of interest to you, then you'll be applying specifically for that particular topic. So what I did, the usual thing would be your application form, and then you need to write a research proposal that addresses that specific topic that exactly the specific topic that they are looking to try and understand and try and study. So the key thing for me, it's the research proposal, because that is what tells them how you intend to solve the problem at hand. So your research proposal has to be that good. It has to be very good. And as you said, at the end of the month, we would be discussing a bit more into detail on research proposals and SOPs and other stuff. But the key thing for this particular application is your research proposal. So I basically applied for. I wrote my research proposal. I don't want to tell you the story around how I got it.
No, one thing that interests me is that people are of the view that you need to be an academic, like do TA before you get a master's. But I know you were working before you got like a PhD. So
my story.
Did it give you an added advantage? Like, did it make you know more into that? And how can someone use their working space to be able to explain what they want to do to help in their working space?
Okay, so my story is a bit different, and if I tell you a bit more of my story, then everybody will get to know I'm too old here. But basically, so I transitioned from an engineering background. I did chemical engineering here in UST. So I'm a trained engineer. Went into banking, did a master's in finance at GIMPA. And then transitioned here. So as you said, I worked. So yes, I worked for 2 big banks in Ghana for 10 years. And then after 10 years, I felt like, well, I wanted to transition. And one thing that I don't know if you know about me, we're talking about being TA and being academic oriented. When I finished tech, I was a TA as well. So I did my national service as a TA. So I think I'd almost always had a thing for coming a bit into academia. So yes, it gives you. I think it helps you a lot in ways that if you transition straight from an undergraduate degree into a master's into a PhD, I think it gives you a little bit of some advantage. I'm not too sure whether it has anything to do with my application per se, that I can tell, but it gives you an advantage into how you approach the research work. Because for me, one of the key things is to have a certain balance between what you're doing in academia, whichever research you're doing, and how it applies in real life. And one difficult thing that I'm struggling with is in my current work is trying as much as I can for my research work to be very relevant within the industry space as well.
Industry. There's going to be a session maybe sometime later where we talk about people who transition from academic to industry or industry to academic to industry. I think you form one of the many things we want to talk. Someone is asking that there's a noting that living and studying in the UK is very difficult, especially financially. I want to know how true that is.
Okay, so I as I said, I was quite comfortable doing my banking thing, and I was, my money wasn't that bad, so it was a pretty difficult decision coming here, because my stipend here is lower than what I was getting in Ghana. Yeah. But I still took a decision to come. I don't think there's okay. So for me, I don't think my stipend is bad. At least it covers the basics that I need here, and I'm still able to take care of my wife and kids back home. So it's not so bad. You still can work. You still can work if you want to, although there are some limitations. But yes, you still can work. It's not so bad. But for those who are not on full scholarship, because I'm on full scholarship, my fees are paid by the school, and I also get a good enough decent stipend to live. Yeah.
Yeah, someone is asking if there's any master's scholarship on supply chain management at the Open University. I'm just wondering.
No. Okay, so the Open University, I think just prior to 2017 or so, they had an MRes program, which is also research-based, so a master's in research program. And I think it was across board in all the faculties as well. So in that score, they were financing that. So yes, you would get scholarship for that. But I think that for the other external scholarships like you would have with the Commonwealth, as Jonah spoke about, and all the other external scholarships, yes, you can actually use them and do a course at the OU as well. But not directly the OU. I think any financing within OU is for research, so it has to be more like a PhD, not a master's.
Not a master's, okay. Thank you so much, Kweku, for coming. Do you want to add anything else as a take-home message or something?
Nothing comes to mind. I think the rest have been mentioned by everyone else. The usual documents, your certificates, transcripts, academic references, very, very important. And then, so I think I forgot an important step. So after the application, the next step for mine would be an interview. So the interview is also very important. The interview is key. So after the application, if they are satisfied and they think that your proposal is intriguing enough and they want to know more about you and to discuss with you, then you have your interview. So the interview, you present your proposal. If I remember correctly, I think I had about 15 minutes or so to present the proposal. And then I went through the interview, about 3 professors asking different questions, from general PhD stuff to specific stuff about the PhD, theoretical stuff, how methodological stuff. I had to explain everything that I intended to do to them. So if the the proposal and how do you call it? The interview is good. Yes, then you get in. For mine as well, like it was quite interesting. I did my interview. They told me they'll get back to me in 2 weeks' time, and then in 2 days' time, I got
3
the
days.
offer. 2 days' time, I got the offer. So
It was format. Okay, so this is quite cool. We are going to be having here together with Derek and some other. We're going to be having a workshop on how to write proposals, groundbreaking proposals. He doesn't want me to use groundbreaking. Statements of purposes and all of that. So do join in that session if you're here, and it's going to be really helpful. But before that, I'll all entreat some people that you should start writing. Like you can just Google statements of purpose, write something down before the workshop comes so that you can make it better after the workshop. You see where you fell short, and that's a learning process rather than someone telling you what to do. Do it, then they'll tell you the right thing to do. Then you can.
So start working now, start searching for the schools you want now, because applications and stuff opportunities will start coming up very, very soon. So just start.
You should actually get a book.
Start preparing.
A book and a pen. Write the name of the scholarship, write the deadline and the documents needed.
Exactly.
Then you can be ticking them along the way.
Exactly,
it's very helpful, trust me. And it makes you remember when the deadline is due and what you need to do. Someone said, what's up group today? Thank you, Kweku, for coming. I'm grateful, guys, all that you're doing. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
WhatsApp group is very necessary. I would stay tuned. I'll form the WhatsApp group and I'll add yours. So I'm bringing the next person, Augustina Mamoge. He doesn't want me to call her Mamoge. Augustina. So I hope you're enjoying the session. Give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the session and what you want to find out. Any questions as well. Come on, again. Are you guys whole network ni nyana? Nenye dema. Mama again.
Hi.
Hi. I can't see your face.
Jeez. Okay.
Do you want to turn your network on and stuff like that? Do you want me to connect you back on after? Do you want to sort them out? Oh yeah, I see you. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
You need that dance lesson because the dance we're doing here. I don't know whether it was Azonto, it was Kogong. I don't understand.
No, it was my own dancing method.
Hi guys, please help me wish or get a happy belated birthday. She celebrated her birthday yesterday. Happy belated, my darling.
Thank you.
Okay, so can you tell us a bit about yourself, the scholarship you are on and you've been on, and the school you are in, the school you've been, and how you got the scholarship, how you transitioned? You have a very interesting story from Ghana to the US.
Yeah, so I attended University of Mines and Technology in Ghana, and I worked as a maintenance planner in the mining companies, Goldfields Ghana Limited and BCM Ghana for 2 years before moving to Butte, Montana for my master's degree. So it took me 2 years to get admission to school. So I applied once I graduated from UMass to a lot of schools like in Canada, Australia, and the US. I really wanted to go to Australia, but I couldn't get funding. I got all the schools that I applied for, but I didn't get funding. So finally, I got funding from US, like Montana Technological University, and I was actually admitted to pursue mechanical engineering. But after working in the mining company for 2 years, like the interest in mechanical changed to environmental engineering. So when I got to US, I spoke to my advisor about it, and he gladly allowed me to go to the environmental department. And I'm always thankful for that, because he allowed me to keep the funding for a year before the environmental department gave me their funding. So yeah, I was very lucky for that. So that is my story, and now I'm studying for my PhD in agricultural biosystems and mechanical engineering. So back in Montana Tech, I studied my master's in environmental engineering and a master's certificate in ecological restoration. So combining these two and having a degree in mechanical engineering from Ghana, that is why I accepted this offer for agricultural biosystems and mechanical engineering. And my research is on wastewater management, and then also recovery of phosphorus from wastewater. So yeah, that is what I'm doing now. I really love what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, we have a similar project, and that's how come we met. So she helped to build a borehole in her community back in Edukrum, and I actually fell in love with her passion and how she decided to do it as well. So again, can you tell us what you did to get into Montana State, like from Ghana? What you had to look for? What were the preparations you did? Yeah.
You mostly here in the US school, what you have to do is that you really have to look for an advisor. So it's very important to get an advisor before you apply. Otherwise, you keep on spending money unnecessarily. So you have to make sure you go to the school's website, read about their requirements, go to the web page of the departments of the program you want to pursue, and then read about the faculties or the lecturers in the department. Look at their research interests, their publications, and then know if they are aligned to your research interests. And then you email them before they reply you. But yeah, sometimes you email about 50 professors and none of them will reply you. But you don't have to give up. Because for my PhD, I will tell you the truth. Every day I emailed more than 20 professors from Australia, here in US, in Canada, and I wasn't getting any reply, but I knew that hey, this is what I want. I want to pursue my PhD. So I that was what kept me going. It is not that easy. So you just have to keep on going. Some of them will reply, some of them will not reply. And yeah, some of them too, you just keep on. When you find this advisor that you know that I really want to work with this person, you can send the email more than 10 times. Just keep on sending it to them.
Yeah.
And they will just give up and then reply you if they have funding or not. So you just have to keep doing that. So that is what I did. One of my professors back in UMass also gave me directions on how to go about it. So it is very important to get a good relationship with your professors or your lecturers in your undergraduate university. You have to be very hardworking. You have to take your studies very serious, and then when they know that you are serious, they will help you in every way that you want. So that was what I did. And you make sure you have the requirements on your tips, like the requirements that the school needs on your tips. Make sure you have all of them, the SOP, your CV, and everything. So there is a way of drafting these emails that you are supposed to send to the professors. You don't send the emails anyhow. You have to, you just go to Google and just type how to send emails, sample emails to professors on school applications, or just DM some of us here, and I know some of us will be willing to help you, guide you on how to write these emails. But before you write these emails, make sure you have your transcript ready, your academic CV or resume. So we have a difference between the job CV or job resume and academic resume. So make sure you have an academic resume. You have, if you have your SOP available, you can add it. And then if you have your GRE, because US, almost all the schools here in US are very particular with the GRE. So make sure you have your GRE. Once you've made up your mind to go to graduate school, you have to start preparing to write the GRE. It takes a long time to study, to prep yourself for the GRE. So
if you're not smart like I am, you need to start early.
Like you really have to study for the GRE. Although some of the schools, it's just a handful of schools here in the US that do not require the GRE, but almost all the schools here require GRE. So you have to make sure you have that. And yeah, so make sure you email the professors. Just keep on sending the emails every day. Like the school application is a job on its own. You have to be dedicated to it. It is not that easy. So you have to be dedicated to it. Make sure you have all your materials. My colleagues who have been here have talked about all these materials already. So make sure you have them, and then email the professors. So some of them, when they reply and they tell you they have funding, they will tell you to go ahead and then apply. So you go ahead and then apply, and then make sure that your SOP is very good. You should understand that you are not the only one applying for this position. There are over 1,000 people out there. So how do you stand out? Okay, so you have to make sure your SOP is very good. And then also, most of the time, some of us, we just do not do any extra curricular activities when we are in school. We do not volunteer to do any community work, but these small things are very important. They really add value to our lives. So it's not only about academics. No. Like they also look at how you are able to do multitasking. Okay. So if you are able to do all these things, it really helps. So make sure you have just the little things that you can do to help your community, help people around you. You put it on your CV. It helps. It goes a long way to help you. So that is what
I'm not cutting you. I had this mentor who actually was trying to frame my statement of purpose. And typical example, I'm like, oh, I have volunteered for this company as an usher. She said, I assisted an international delegation of people to. The way she framed the thing, I'm like, oh, that's exaggeration, but it is what it is. So it goes about how to frame something as simple as what you've done in the community or even in school. Maybe you were a class rep or something. How you frame it up, that can sell you.
Way to help. Even a class rep, being a class rep goes a long way to help. So you have to make sure you are able to do all these small things, and they will really help you. So with scholarship, my scholarships, here in the US, they give you stipend, but I will tell you the truth. My stipend were not helping me. They weren't enough for me. So I started looking around for scholarships. So I went to offices of professors and then asked them, hey, I'm looking for scholarships. Any idea where I can get scholarships to apply? So some of them, when they see any scholarship, they just send them to my email, and then I apply for them. If I get it, fine. If I do not get it, that is it. So all you have to do is just to apply. And lastly, I applied, and so I got the International Peace Scholarship. So it's a scholarship for women who are in academics. So they have it in Canada and US. So and they really look at what you as a woman, what you are doing for your community. what you are doing for the teenagers in your community, what you are doing to help the girls in your community. I didn't know about this. I had the passion of helping teenagers in Axim, in Ghana, but I didn't know this was going to help me here in US to get a scholarship. And that I was the first person in the whole of the state of Montana to get the scholarship as an African. So like, it was a big thing for them. Like, it was a big thing for school. It was a big thing for the PO chapters in Butte. So, and it was a very big thing for me because at least it helped me financially because my first semester was really hard, just depending on only my stipend. Also, I just apply for any scholarship that I see. So you join associations when you come to school, when you come to graduate school. We have something like SME, Society of Mining Engineers. So like you join this association and they have scholarships. So you apply for these scholarships. We have National Society of Black Engineers. You join them. You have scholarships. As a member, you apply for these scholarships. So, and you make sure you attend conferences. Just try to put yourself out there, okay? And then your research project, no matter how small it is, just participate in presentations, positions in the associations, and then it will go a long way to help you. In your
Someone is asking that, what do you mean by some lecturers have funding?
So here in the US, the faculties or the lecturers are supposed to write proposals and then look for funding. So graduate school is more of research. You have to do a lot of research. So the research or the money, the faculties have the money. So it is not the school that is going to the school will admit you, but the faculty has the money or the lecturer has the money. So the lecturer will have to tell you, yeah, I have this money, I have funding, so you can apply. I'm ready to assist you, or I'm ready to take you on as my student.
Yeah. I'll talk a lot more about that scholarship at the end. I'll be the last person to speak, and I'm on a scholarship that was granted to me by that. So I kind of have enough information in terms of that. And quite a number of the scholarships I've gained are like that. I wasn't that smart to actually have applied and gotten it anyways. But I positioned myself right to be able to get certain scholarships that I was on. So I understand where you're coming from. Anything you want to add? Any question you have for you can slide into a DM and ask it, because I can see some people are asking some questions. Someone was like, information on scholarships for everyone. Scholarships from Germany. We had our last session had about 4 Germans on here, Ghanaian Germans. Sorry you missed that session. We'll look at how we can bring them on board. But if you have any questions, slide into a DM. She's very nice. There is Mama Oge, just do Mama Oge. She'll answer.
So the last scholarship I had was with Atlantic Richfield Company. That was the company.
Can you repeat that?
Atlantic Richfield Company. It is a subsidiary of BP, British Petroleum. So that was the last scholarship I had. It was an essay competition scholarship. So I saw this scholarship, you have to write an essay. I was like, okay, here we go. I just wrote this. I wrote this essay, and I'm telling you, all my colleagues wrote this essay. We all wanted to get this scholarship. We had people from the environmental department, biological science departments, and environmental health and safety department. We all applied for this particular scholarship, and I was the one who got it. So, whichever one you see, just apply for it. Just go for it. And luckily, when I was done with my master's degree, I had not gotten my PhD. I couldn't get into the PhD program right after my master's degree. So I had to look for something to do just to stay here in the US and then wait for my admission. So I applied for internships, and I got to know that Atlantic Richfield Company was accepting interns. So I knew that BP doesn't employ students because they don't sponsor international students. But the thing is that I've already gotten a scholarship with them. I was like, okay, there is no harm in trying. So I just applied. I just applied for the internship when I saw the advertisement, and I got it. Once again, I wasn't the only one who applied for it from my department, but I got the position.
Yeah.
So
it's just about going for it. I can see Kusuki is updating us on important information. Thank you so much, Kusuki, as well.
Just have to go for it. Just go for it. Friends, I will tell you the truth. If you want to come to graduate school, you have to have time for applications. Like I could send more than I just can't count the number of emails I even sent for my PhD admission. Like I sent a lot of emails. Every day I send like 20 emails to different professors from Australia, US, and Canada for a PhD position. And you know, being an international student, you have to get funding. Like you have to get a professor to tell you, yes, I have funding before. So you need to get time for it. It's not that easy. So
thank you, Mama, again. Thank you so much for coming for the session. I appreciate your time and your effort in doing this. So can you put your handle down there and probably the list of maybe some important information you want them to look out for? And Aduma is helping with that. She's being great at it. Please give shout out to Aduma for being my secretary on this section. And thank you so much for coming, Mama, again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So guys, she'll be putting her handle down there. So I'm bringing a medical student, Azigiza Gospel Show. Please do stay tuned. When the link cuts, we are having some other people, 2 other people from Canada also, who will be talking to us about how they got their funding. So don't be tired just yet. Do stay tuned. Adelaide Osabuti, I can see you came to support your sister. Thank you so much for coming. So we are having Azigiza. He's a medical student. So he's going to talk to us about medical student scholarships as well on here. Azigiza Gospel Show. Hey, Azigiza. Azigiza. Fred, what's up?
I'm good, Charlie. How are you?
Oh, by grace. So we day inside. How are you? How is everything?
Yeah, I'm doing well by God's grace. Corona wants to bring us down, but we are still.
Lie.
Yeah.
Lie. So, Azigiza, please tell us a bit about yourself, the course you're studying, the scholarship you are on, which country, where you are, and how you got there.
Okay, my name is Frederick Nanayaboa, and I'm a medical student in Morocco, and I'm on the Ghana scholarship. A scholarship by the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat, which is a national scholarship. So that's the scholarship that I'm on, and it's actually an undergraduate scholarship. Most of the scholarships that they give, they are undergraduate scholarships, and they send people to different countries like Morocco, Algeria, Cuba, Romania, Russia, India. Every year, each year, they send people to this country. So I saw someone asking about the undergraduate programs, and I think I'll talk a little bit about that from the scholarship, the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. They give a lot of scholarships to people who finishes SHS and who don't get admissions in the universities in Ghana, want to study outside. So as I mentioned, Algeria, Morocco, Cuba, Romania, Hungary, and Russia, they are some of the countries that they give scholarships to. And to apply, you don't need much. You don't need much to apply for it. It's just your WASC certificate and your transcript. Then your transcript and just your application letter. That's what you need. But the process.
But I would like to talk a bit about that, because there's this controversy controversy about whom you know, kind of thing?
Oh yeah, when it comes to the scholarship secretariat, there are a lot of shenanigans, and some are true, some are not true. But I think back then I came here in 2013, and back then it was quite some way. But now I think it's more transparent. Now it's more transparent. So those kind of stuff, I think they are not there anymore. The who you know, they have now made it more transparent. So now it's strictly business, like your grades and your application and the interview. That's what they do. So those things I believe they were there in the past, but now, if they are there, I don't know. But I think those those who deserve it, they get.
But is it for other courses apart from medicine?
Yeah, there are a lot of courses over here. Engineering programs, forestry engineering, agronomy. There are other health programs, other nursing programs like anesthesia, and a lot of programs, business programs. Charlie, almost everything you can find in Ghana.
Yeah. Someone is asking, what if your WASI certificate doesn't qualify you?
It's very competitive. There are a lot of people who are applying for the scholarship. So your grades matter. It matters. It matters a lot. If you are applying, for instance, someone comes with 7 A's and you come with just 2 A's, I don't think it's fair for them to give to you and you get it. So it's actually a scholarship for the brilliant but needy. That's the scholarship. That's what it's for. So it's your grades. If you have good grades, you are going to do it. And let me talk about Morocco, because there are a lot of opportunities here.
Okay.
Like the most of the students come here to do just their first degree, but most of them end up going back home with master's programs, and some of them even further on to do PhD, because here it's free. You don't pay for tuition. And it's up to you how well you do in your first your first degree can carry you on to the next stage. You can fight your way through. If you're someone who thinks outside the box, you can go on to the PhD level. So there are a lot of opportunities for over here, and in the medical field also. After you are done with your general medicine, you can go ahead and specialize. And I don't think we have that. Those who go to countries like Russia, they have that opportunity. So, but here in Algeria, you have that opportunity to specialize. So you don't go back home as just a general doctor. You go back home as a specialist. And the good thing here also is that you get to choose what you want to do. No, they don't give you what they have. Unlike certain European countries where they give you what is available, not what you want to do. You choose what you want to do over here. So those are some of the opportunities that we have here. Yeah. So that's for the undergraduate program offered by the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. All you need is your WASI certificate, your application form, your transcript from your secondary school. And what is difficult about this is the procedure. A lot of people apply through the how do you call it, the post address that they give. Charlie, Ghana and post office, it doesn't forget about that post address that they give. You should go there yourself. Like, go and hand in the application yourself at their office, at the Scholarship Secretariat. And even after you have gone to apply for it, you don't sit back and wait for them to call. You have to keep going there, pushing your way through, because there are a lot of people. And if you sit back, no one is going to call you. You go there, you push, you ask them when they are going to have their interview, because after you have submitted your application, there is an interview session. And last year I was in Ghana. I went there. I was trying to help someone to get a scholarship, and I was surprised to see the number of people who were there for the interview. They were a lot. So if you think you are just going to apply and sit back home and wait for them to call you, no, I'm sorry. You have to keep pushing, go there. And I think they changed their address. They are now at somewhere around Ridge. They share walls with Accra High Secondary School. So that's where they are now. So you just have to go there and submit your application and keep pushing. Go there all the time. If you're in Accra and it's within your means, you just go there, ask them when they are going to call you for interview and stuff. And that way you are going to push your way through. If you sit back, you are I'm not sure you are going to make it. So yeah.
It's not, yeah. It's like that everywhere, actually. Yeah, yeah.
And
So, I mean, if you are on here and you've got a university student, William Banidi, and they need scholarships to get into here's pass through the system, I'm sure he actually also knows one or two people who are there. So you can slide into his DM and let him help you with that aspect of it. I mean, one thing about international fellowships is that it gives you international credentials. I mean, you do internship with other people, you get to hear other things, you get to meet other people and all of that. Someone is asking, do you need to get admission? Do you need to get admission to the university first, or they have a list of schools?
No, for the undergraduate scholarship, we don't need to get admission first in the school. It's the scholarship secretariat which works everything out for you. But on the other hand, they have postgraduate scholarships. The scholarship secretariat, they have postgraduate scholarships where you have to get the scholarship from the school and you come to them for them to give you the scholarship. That's what happens with their masters and most of their PhD programs at the scholarship secretariat. You go and look for the scholarship yourself in the school. And some of the schools, I think, are Mauritius, some of the countries, Mauritius, Romania, India, Czech Republic, some of the countries that I know they deal with. So you get the admission in the school, then you come to the scholarship secretariat and you talk to them about it, that this is what you found and you want a scholarship to go and pursue this program and that, and they are going to help you. They have a website and they have on their website there's a notice board where they post the scholarships, but they hardly update it. So I would advise you go to their place, to their office, and on their notice board over there they have all the scholarships over there. If no one is going to tell you about it unless you go and find out for yourself. That's the thing about the scholarship secretariat. At first, they used to make their publications in how to call it, the Ghanaian Times newspaper. And who buys Ghanaian Times? Me, I don't. You get it? So how am I going to see the scholarships? So you have to.
Is your father or your uncle who see some newspaper somewhere like that?
An old man who wants to read Ghanaian Times, who is going to find out. Yeah, so you have to go there yourself and just find out what's of the scholarships available. And I think between January and May, that's a period where most of the scholarships come. So you have to go there during that period too.
Yeah, I'm not cutting you in, but WhatsApp will be going in. Instagram will be going down in the next 2 minutes, I think. Someone is asking if they offer postgraduate medicine. I mean, you guys stay tuned. We have 2 people from Canada who are going to update us on their scholarship they are on and the processes. So do join in if I go back on live. And I will join in last to talk about all the scholarships I've had and all the opportunities I've had as well. Yeah. So someone is asking if they offer postgraduate medicine.
Postgraduate medicine in Morocco or for the scholarship secretariat? Which is which?
Scholarship, I think in Morocco. He said in Morocco.
Okay.
With Morocco, do they offer postgraduate medicine?
In Morocco, I'm not sure they do. And even if they do, it's going to be difficult for someone in Ghana because everything is done in French over here. So for you to come and do your master's program or your PhD or postgraduate program, you have to know French. You have to know French. So it's going to be a challenge for those in Ghana. But those who have already been here and those who already have the French background, they can do it. They can do it. So if you know French, you can come and do whatever you want to do. But if you don't know French, that's going to be a barrier. It's going to be a barrier to you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Frederick, for coming. Someone has asked the question, Stephanie, but if you can answer her when you are out on the session and also drop your handle so that anyone can follow you and ask you any question in terms of medicine they want to ask.
All right, sure. Okay.
Thank you so much for coming. I'll go offline and come back on. So you guys stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Canada in the bit.
Thank you guys for joining in. So we wouldn't have this problem the next time because the next session we are going to Facebook Live. We'll be doing from Facebook Live and YouTube as well. So the next time we'll be streaming on all networks. So we'll be streaming on live Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So we wouldn't have this 1 hour session and you going and coming back in and all of that. I'm pretty sorry. So our next person is Stanley. He's in Canada. He will tell us a bit about him.
I'm adding Stanley. Stanley John J.
Hi, my sister. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you as well, Stanley?
It's great. It's been a while. Happy New Year.
Yeah, not bad. Happy New Year too. Stanley, can you tell us a bit about yourself, the school you are in, the scholarship you're on, and the country you are? I mentioned it, but if you could just highlight on it.
Okay, I'm sorry for my face, because of Corona. So
I can see that you've grown some beard and looking like Abraham.
Okay, my name is Stanley, and I'm in Canada by God's grace. I'm doing Masters International Development Studies in St. Mary's University. Actually, Canada, what is here is that for master's students, they don't really have names for scholarship. What they do is entry scholarship. That's if you meet the requirement. So most of the school, as soon as you are admitted, you are given admission scholarship. Probably some of them you may get 70, 80, 90, 100%, depending on the funding the school has. But upon arriving, I came very, very late because my visa got delayed and stuff. So I couldn't have much time to explore any further avenue in the school. So I just decided to look for some job. Because I pay for the rest. Because I had about 90% of scholarship. Yeah.
Okay. So what processes do you have to go through to get that scholarship from Ghana to the Canada, Prince Mary?
Okay. I think the sister that spoke from the US had already spoken much on that, but I'll just add a few things. Because Canada and the US system, they are quite similar. So you just have to get a good GPA transcript. Your grade should be very strong, because as Canada, for instance, the Canadian system, they are quite book-long people. I do say they are very strict in terms of academic and stuff. So they are particular about your grades. They are particular about your commitment whilst in school, what you have done, what you maybe you were a student, activist, community, you involve yourself in community activities. So they are particular about your SOP, they are particular about your resume, they are particular about your transcript, and also for Canadian system, they are particular about your English proficiency.
Okay.
So formally, some school, they don't normally accept, they don't require you to write English proficiency exam, but especially when you are coming from Ghana, but increasingly, many schools are very strict on it nowadays. So you need to write your English proficiency to put yourself well ahead of other candidates. Because the Canadian system, the competition is very tight, to say. And also to add to that, a lot of people, for instance, this is my second master's degree. Okay. So I was thinking I was coming to do PhD, but look, it's not straight like that. It's not very possible. Coming from Africa, I won't say that they don't really trust our system, but of course, this American system, Canadian system, they have their own system. For instance, when I came I was holding master's degree and I came to pursue another master's, I found it quite difficult because, in Ghana, for instance, it's with me to say, they give you assignments, you can do copy and paste. And you can go with it.
Yeah.
But they are very particular about most of those things. So a friend of mine, for instance, she was applying for school here this coming year, and I advised her, look, you have your master's, but look, you just apply for second master's. Because
PhD, get into the system.
Exactly. PhD, you may not get it. And truly, she never got the admission. So I always encourage people that, look, it's your coming that is very important. When you get
the moment you come in, you can explore the other opportunities.
Exactly, my dear. There are a lot of opportunities there. I can't talk much about so many of the opportunities in the schools because I came very late. My visa got it. I came, I think, a month after school reopened. And normally they shouldn't have allowed me to continue with the program. But I pleaded with them. I was in constant communication with them and they accepted me. So when I got to the school, I was very engaged with my academics, trying to submit assignment, proposal, and stuff. So I would say that, of course, there are a lot of opportunities here. So you just have to...
I'm not cutting you in. Can you just mention the name of the school again so we can capture it?
Yeah, I'm in St. Mary's University. But
okay.
Yeah, but I can speak for other universities here because I'm familiar. For instance, when you come to Dalhousie University, Dalhousie is Dalhousie, Housie. Dalhousie University. They are very good with scholarship for international students from Ghana, especially. They are particular about agric students. They have one of the largest agric school in Canada. So when any person who is interested in agricultural science can easily get into that school. And we have Memorial University is also very good for political science students, psychology and other programs. Memorial University,
Okay. These are very helpful. If after the session, you can just help Nana Duma with the names of the school. You write it in the comment section. I don't think people have quite a number of questions. Please, if you have any question, slide into Stanley's DM and ask him any question you would want to ask him in terms of scholarships that are open in Canada. We are bringing our last Canada person as well. Yeah, he is rating it. Yeah. I think most of the things have been mentioned in terms of the things you need. I want to say, how smooth is it to switch from UK to Canada?
Oh, it's very smooth. You just need to get admitted. You know, when you move out of Africa and you want to come to Canada, US, it's quite possible. It's quite easier compared to you moving from Ghana to these places. So you just have to put in your application, you're admitted, you apply for your visa, you can easily get in. Yeah.
Someone was asking, what about nutrition courses or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Their science program, they do give a lot of scholarship. Unlike business students, they don't have scholarship at all. It's very limited. As students, I think we are better. Yeah.
In terms of numbers, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Stanley, for coming. I know you are very busy, but you had to do this for me.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too. Please slide into Stanley's DM and ask him any question you would want to ask him. I'm bringing the last person, Lopez. He wasn't on our flyer. I later got to him. I'm sorry, Lopez, but I'm bringing him on. Please, if you're here, the last Saturday of this month, we are going to be having a workshop. The workshop will be about how to write SOPs and statements of purpose. I want to use the right name. Academic series. So as our guest said, academic is different from professional. And also proposals, depending on what you need to start your application now. If you really want to start, look out for the things your school that you want to go to need so that you will be able to help you. I mean, the various speakers. Some people are asking about French school. So we had a session last 2 weeks where we had people from France, Germany, US, UK, Italy, all around. I'm sure you might have missed the session, but if you can slide into my DM, I can send you their handles so that you can also ask them any question. So I'll talk about my scholarship last. I'm bringing Lopez on, and we'll call it a day. So I'm bringing Lopez on. Yo.
Yeah.
You came to worry Edmond during the last session. Where's
I don't
Edmond?
remember. I don't remember.
You will never remember.
That's my life. If something happens today, I forget it the next day.
You forget it the next day. Selective forgetfulness. It will never happen. How are you doing? Okay, Edmond has
you?
started. The first, the sharkest among them all.
I can't even see. My phone is cracked, so you shouldn't worry himself.
No, but sorry for not adding you to the flyer and stuff like that. I didn't get your message. Yeah. So can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay.
The school you are in, how you got in. I know it's an interesting one. We want to hear everything.
Okay. Okay. My name is Lopez. I was in the business school Legon. I completed 2016. So then when I was on campus, Edmond was like one of my best friends, even though he was like ahead of me. So when you go to Czech Republic, he used to recommend some scholarships to me, right? So he gave me the scholarship to his school. I applied, and they told me to write 2 exams, right? It was maths and English. Can you believe the maths? I got around 98. English, I got around 95. Still, they didn't call me. They didn't even say hi. They didn't mind me. But then he was still helping me with other scholarships. So he recommended this one to Sapienza University in Italy, right? He recommended that one to me, so I applied. Fortunately for me, I got it, and I got a scholarship. My parents didn't want me to go to Italy because even though I got a scholarship, but then I think the scholarship covers only the tuition. So then my parents didn't want me to go. They told me that aside the States and Canada, they will not allow me to go to any other place. So then I turned my attention to the State and Canada. So in Canada, I applied to Saskatchewan University, and in the State, I applied to Youngstown University. Fortunately for me, I got a scholarship in the States. But then Ohio, my mom said there's gun violence too, so she didn't allow me to go to the States. So then I had to come to Canada. But Canada, I applied to Saskatchewan University. So I didn't get a scholarship for the Saskatchewan though, because the scholarship that was available was for only agribusiness, and I didn't want to do agribusiness. I'm an accounting student, and I wanted to further, so I didn't want to do that one. So I saw people asking about agribusiness, right? So that one I recommend University of Saskatchewan to them, and I think Manitoba, that one is very good. I mean, Humber Business School, Toronto. That one, I didn't get scholarship because I'm a business student and I'm an accounting student. It's very difficult for you to get scholarship. But in Canada here, when you get to the immigration, they will give you a student permit, and the student permit includes a work permit. So if you come and let's say they give you like 4 years and you want to do masters for like 2 years or 1.5, you have the opportunity to work for like 2 years. You can work like no one worry you. So me, sometimes I tell my friends that want to come to Canada, if you don't have a scholarship or you don't even have money, just try and come. This one, fine. If I didn't write any GRA, I didn't write IELTS, I didn't write anything. I used my university degree, and I had a certificate in supply chain management. So I added that one, and I applied to Saskatchewan University. They requested for a recommendation. I did my national service in the University of Ghana Business School as a teaching assistant. So then I got a recommendation from the head of department and my lecturer. He was a professor. So then I got admission to the Saskatchewan University. Can you believe when I came, I didn't go to the Saskatchewan University. When you get to the country, you have a whole lot of options. You can go to anywhere you want. When I came to Ontario, when I saw stuff, I didn't want to go back to Saskatchewan. So then I changed my school to Humber Business School, right?
Okay.
So then when I came the first year, I didn't go to school because I had to work because I didn't get scholarship. I had to work. But the funny thing is that here they pay you high, right? When you work, they pay you high. So if you are disciplined, you can just save a month or two to pay your school fees. So that's what I did. I didn't want to buy a whole lot of stuff. So I will just buy my food, maybe some insurance or something like car insurance. Aside that, I didn't spend anything. I was just saving my money. So, and when you're about to enter the school, that one you are supposed to pay your school fees, like a full school fees. And where I school, my school fees is very expensive. But the Saskatchewan University is very cheap. Even if you don't get scholarship, you're supposed to pay I think 5,200 or something a year. It's very low. And even though when you're an international student and you come to Canada, the banks will give you credit. I mean, when I came, the first bank that I was banking with, they gave me 2,500 credit. And I opened another bank. I have two banks. That one to give me 2,500. Together 5,000. It has already paid my school fees, right? So then there are a whole lot of opportunities here. Yeah. If you are not going to spend it badly, so then they will help you. That's before you enter school. You are supposed to pay your full tuition fee. That's for the first year. But then when you're a continuous student, you can pay it you just pay 1,000 as a down payment for them to know that you are coming this semester. So then you register for your courses. The rest of them, you can be paying it bit by bit. So mine, I applied to the school, Saskatchewan University, I got admission. I think when I applied, I got admission like a month later. So when I got it, I started with my process. When you are applying to Canada, when you go to the Canadian sites, they will ask for only four documents. That's your passport, your admission letter, your like sponsorship or finances, and your passport picture. But basically, that's not what they want. With the finances, most people use only their bank statements, and that one you're not going to get it. The thing that they request for only 4, but I think they need more than that. So you are supposed to add a whole lot of things. Mine,
supporting
when we are
things
applying,
to give you credibility.
To give you credit, and even though, let's say you went to the University of Ghana, you have your degree or something. When you apply and you get a scholarship, or you don't, even if you don't get a scholarship and you're applying for the visa, I will tell you that any certificate that you have, just show it to them, just give it to them. Any certificate that you have, I think it gives you an upper hand. Because Canadians, they give opportunity to people that are coming to study. They give opportunity, and if you are an international student here, I think you have a favor too. And when you are here, after you school, when you are done with school, you apply for something called graduate work permit. When you get a graduate work permit and you work for a year in your corporate field, you just apply for your PR and you're going to get it. After you get your PR, if you still want to do your PhD, that one they are going to fund you because you are a permanent resident here. They are going to give you a permanent scholarship. It's just like you're in Germany. Tuition will be free for you because you have a permanent resident here. So that was how I did mine. Even though I don't have a scholarship, I worked and I paid my school fees. Even though it's huge, but I was able to pay it. Even though I pay a lot of stuff, so I pay my car insurance, a lot of insurance, but I still have a lot to pay my school fees to get it.
Because
so it depends on
working, they pay you a lot, when you're working.
Yes. As compared to the US, Germany, UK, no, Canada pays a lot. It pays a lot, It's stable. And when you get to work here, it's easy to get work here too. And when you get work here, it's very difficult for them to sack you. And here it's not like Germany that you'll be around someone will just meet you and be like, do you have papers? No. Getting into Canada is very hard. But when you get into Canada, you're on your own, you are free.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This is a very good heads up. Do you have something to say?
Me personally, I applied for a lot of scholarships. Edmond can attest to that. I did my best. But since I was not getting it, I didn't sit there. I was I'll be like, I'm not getting a scholarship, so I'm just there. No, I wanted to school so hard. So then I was like, even if I don't get a scholarship, I will just... And I had motivation from Edmond and all those guys, right? So then I just did it. So I think even if you don't get a scholarship and you are really determined to study, why not? You can do it.
Yeah.
Just that working and the education will be hard, but you are supposed to. You can do it.
Yeah.
So if anyone is applying to school or applying for a visa, the person, if the person send me a DM or anything, if I have anything, I can just help the person.
Guys, contact Lopez. Lopez is the guy. Especially Jojo, when it comes to Ghana, join 2 of them. Send them DM, left, right, center. Let them help you too.
I will tell anyone that if you send me and I don't reply, send it to Edmond.
I'll put Edmond on there.
Okay.
Now, winner_ dear said I need to get in contact with him. Yeah, winner, do get in contact with him and get to him as well. Okay, Lopez, thank you for allowing to do this last minute. I'm very grateful. Please, if you can drop your DM when you're done. I know Nana Duma has helped me with that, but you to drop it.
Adman, okay, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
So I want to thank all my 10 speakers for this amazing information session. So we are going to do something. So next week, we are bringing you a session called Scholarship News in Brief. So with that, we are going to give you all the schools that are open admissions. I'm going way out of myself to be able to help. I'm not school feeding you, but I really want to put you on a certain level of confidence where you can be able to be left alone to do certain things. So on next week, we are going to have Michael. He's a scholarship and a graduate admission rep in terms of in UN, who is going to be giving you all the updates on schools that have open admissions, scholarships that have open admissions. And we are going to be bringing that weekly on a daily program we have called Spot On. So you need to join on the Spot On session to have your scholarship news in brief. Also, on the 30th of May, we are going to be having a workshop on how to write statements of purpose, proposals, academic CV. What I'll entreat you to do is to get your, like, Google them and write something like that down, okay? So that when you are being taught how to do, you can make the necessary changes that you have to do. And I know that, yeah, like people actually do this to like as consultancy and they are paid for it. But I believe this is my little quota to be able to, because I got people to help me. And you realize that from all the people that we've brought on this platform, they also got people to help them. So we are trying to, build you guys to be able to, gain some confidence and all that. So we are going to be having scholarship news in brief on a session we have called Spot On. So on Spot On, we randomly, I get to interact with you. So you come on the request, and I ask you some basic questions that we have way back from junior high school. But within that session as well, we have scholarship news in brief. So we are bringing you all the scholarship right at your doorstep. So someone is also saying the WhatsApp group. So I'm going to have a thing on how to create a Telegram group. Then I've not thought about it. So I'm going to think about it and drop the handles on my my Instagram story. So be on the lookout for that session as well. I'll do the Telegram group and put everybody that has been on last 2 weeks and this week, and you can ask them. So I'll put their various whatever they have, whatever scholarship they are on, and they can also, you can ask your questions from there and stuff like that. So my name is Lois, Shewa, those who don't know. I'm a PhD student at the Open University, just like Honorable Arthur, and I'm doing something in engineering and innovation. So PhD here is like research. So I'm researching on something with water management, just like Oge was also doing. And so I'm not, like, people think I'm like that smart student, but I wasn't. Like, all the people here actually worked for scholarships and they got through. I had tried so many times. When I wasn't getting through, I positioned myself right. And so with that, I made everybody known. I made everybody know about my advances to be able to further school. Okay. So just like everybody, if they get the scholarship, they send it to me and I apply. So my first scholarship I was on was Liverhome Royal Society African Award. Liverhome Royal Society African Award. So with that, it was by merit. So it was given to me because I did a project that was great and they gave it to me. And I went to Aston University, like Eric. Eric was in Aston University. So I worked with the European Bioenergy Research Institute. So the supervisor I worked there doing my master's, I did 1 year in Ghana, University of Ghana, Legon, and I did 1 year in Aston University. So if positioning myself right, I made everybody know, my lecturers know that I wanted to do a master's. Like, I talk to somebody, I speak to someone about it, and people are always ready to help. Like me, if you always tell me, if I look out, normally I do findamasters.com, findaphd.com. One of the things I also did was to attend international programs. So I looked out for fully funded internship. I'm always a big advocate for that. Just Google fully funded internships, fully funded conferences. And with that conference, you just need your body. Like, you're just going with your body. You don't need to pay for anything. You're going to pay for your flight and everything, and your feeding and all of that. And they are just coming to. So with that, you also need to get a very good proposal in respect to that topic. Edmond is also good with the certain conference. Edmond, if you're on here, can you put the conference that you normally attend, that they fully fund everything? So in terms of capacity building, I treat all of you try and make yourself like a step higher than any other person. Okay. So by looking for international funding, international fully funded scholarship, fully funded conferences, try and do some internship in some community. And they are always glad. There are some opportunities that are always glad to let you in. So with that, trust me, I did my master's for like 3 years. I don't know who does master's for 3 years. I didn't get into a PhD straight away. and I got into the PhD studies on a scholarship known as Global Challenges Research Fund. So what this research fund does is that it gives me, aside every PhD student, I get to do a project back in my home country to affect my home country. And just like Derek was saying, we are looking at the capacity in terms of being able to supply sustainable development goals. So it's very good also to be able to target the sustainable development. People want to abadaye, like people want to feel that you have like feeling for your home country. So you need to write something that is going to help your home country at the end of the day. So if you're like in a situation like this, one of the most tactical things we can look at is COVID. So if you're a psychologist, you can actually, I also spoke about something like how is COVID affecting the mental health of somebody. If a business person, you might actually, or an economics person, you say, how is COVID affecting the economic rise? You make a relation to that. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, it's always about how personal you're taking whatever you want to do and how you can propagate your message. So you can look out for the Global Challenges Research Fund. So those are internal scholarships. So with that scholarship, like what they were saying, a lecturer has the scholarship. So there are some lecturers who have some scholarships and they have some positions to give. Okay, I want to get 5 students on board. So it's always good to go way beyond yourself to send lecturers emails, like all of them were saying. So sometimes when they realize your proposal and your CV, they'll say, no, I would like to work with this student so I can fund this international student. So they are internal scholarships. So you need to go way beyond yourself to be able to also do that. And it's very helpful. With that, so they are all based on merit. So with my scholarship like that, aside everybody's pay, I even have an extra about £7,000 to be able to travel to my home country to do project works. And with that, I can also get to do anything, travel on conferences and being able to present to them what I want to do. So if you're a student and you have a passion for humanity, and you want to channel your passion through humanity, go on the Global Challenges Research Fund page. They have calls for PhD, calls for masters, call for capacity building, call for internships, call for conferences, and put in those applications. Make a good and a justifiable reason why you want to get that scholarship, and you will get through it. Okay, I think that is the little about my scholarship life, but I've been on a couple of scholarships called I can't even remember because they are French scholarships. Some of them are Italian, some of them are Ireland. And most of them take me for international conferences free of charge, and they pay for my feeding. I don't even speak at the conference. I just go and listen. So in terms of capacity building, put yourself also on the spot and look out for those things. So first things, with what you've heard, just go to Google, type the scholarship or in your field. So maybe type scholarship in public health, fully funded scholarships in public health, and look out for them. Take a paper and a pen, write the name of the scholarship, the deadline, and the requirements they need, and take them one after the other. So then you know what you're looking out for, or what if you come to me, what you want me to help you with. And all the mentors that have been on this stage are ready to help you at any time if we see that vim and vigor. Okay, so I'll just end here. I'm not going to speak much. I think I've said a lot. So with creating the WhatsApp group and the platform where we could share scholarship and stuff, always be on the lookout on my Insta story and follow me, and we'll also get chit-chatting as well. So I said 16th of May, starting 16th of May next week, there's something called Spot On, where we bring people on board to ask them, like the way interactive sessions, we get to ask you basic science and math questions that we've learned in the FAR, and we award each other and try to learn along the way. Then during that session, we have a session called Scholarship News in Brief. So for the Scholarship News in Brief, we are bringing updates on schools that have opened their admissions, schools that have given scholarships, so you can write them down and look out for them and what particular field they are giving the scholarship. And we are going to be doing this any other week. The week we can't do it, we'll tell you, but it's every other Saturdays now. So you don't have any reason to say, I looked for it and I didn't find it. Then on 30th of May, that's the last Saturday of this month, you can write it down, but there'll be flyers as well, where we are going to give you groundbreaking proposals, like proposals that have gotten people scholarship. And Derek is going to handle that session, and he has done a lot in that session, and people have gotten those scholarships. So it'll be good to get the school and what they want and how you're going to be and come with the right questions. So I just want to thank everybody who has stayed on tuned with me. And anytime you see my flyer, please just share and share and flyer around. I'm on Facebook as Lois Ifwa Ochrewa Damte. I'm on Instagram here as the handle you have. I'm on Twitter as O_APHUA. And I'm on LinkedIn as Lois Ifwa Ochrewa Damte. You can slide into my DM and ask me any question. And next session will be on Facebook Live and YouTube, Instagram, and all others. So tell everybody. And I want to give a big shout out to Nana Duma for being the secretary of this session. Anytime probably I'm on the move or something, she will also handle this session where she will post people also. I'm very grateful for tuning in. Make sure you slide into anyone's DM and ask them a question, and also start your applications now. Start your applications now. Know the requirements, build yourself, and improve yourself. Thank you so much for coming in. Until next time, see you tomorrow, next week, Saturday, same time with Scholarship News in Brief and the Spot On. So I get to see people behind the talking. So just in case, I'll be uploading this session on my YouTube channel as well. So I'll put this session. So in case you've forgotten about something, or you can't remember what somebody said, or you want to tell a friend about it, it will be on the YouTube channel. I'll put the link on my bio, and I'll also put it on like my Insta story. So Edmond just put the scholarship European Forum Alpat. He added the link. Slide into his DM and ask him. There are scholarships, fully funded conferences that you can also attend, and they are going to sort out everything for you. I'll also send some, but you can also look at findamasters.com, findaphd.com, scholarshippositions.com, opportunitydesk.org. I will put all of them on my story or slide into my DM for them. Thank you so much for coming. Bye.